Hey, YouTube community. I just wanted to jump on here and make a video because I felt really convicted to talk about this topic that's been just on my mind today. And it's been something that I have been convicted by for almost my entire life, especially in my 20s, and beyond that now in my years of just experience and just doing life. And it's something that I've always wanted to talk about, and that topic is the heart of worship. And I know that's something that you guys have heard before. I really feel that in the past, maybe in like the early 2000s, it was talked about a lot more. There's that song by Mad Redman, The Heart of Worship. But nowadays, I don't really feel like it's really being talked about that much. I see a lot of celebrity worship leaders. I see a lot of celebrity pastors. And it's really, I feel like the focus has shifted more to becoming famous and being noticed and making that new hit song and being on stage and performing. And I'm not going to sit here and knock on any of that kind of stuff. God can do whatever he wants with any individual. And I believe that if the gospel message is going out there, then, that's amazing. But as a worshiper that has been worshiping in the secret place and has been tested and tried and has gone through the ups and downs of worship and ministries, I really truly believe that this is now part of my DNA. And I've come to be fully convinced that this is what God truly cares about. This is what God is really seeking for in this generation. Worshipers that will worship in spirit and truth, but will have the heart of David, the purity in their hearts. And I'm going to say right now that if you say yes to the Lord will take you on a journey, because you're not born automatically with this heart. You're not. God does see your heart of longing to be pure. I think mostly everyone starts that way, but somewhere along the line, it gets corrupted. It gets muddied. And I feel that many ministries, pastors, worship leaders, they all start this way. And sooner or later, it becomes about them. It becomes about fame, it becomes about money or whatever it is. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect. I'm not. I'm a work in progress, but I can sit here and say that God has took me on this journey of really refining my heart. He has exposed so many times I thought, oh yeah, I'm pure. It's all about God, right? And many times he's convicted me. He's like, no, it's not. He showed me time and time again the posture of my heart. And I want to share just my past experience as a 20-something-year-old, starting my first worship pastor job of this church that was about maybe 800 people at that time. It was my first experience, so I was very inexperienced. I was scared. But I remember that God at that time had really convicted my heart of this topic. And he really steered upon my heart saying, young, I only care about your heart. And in that time as a worship pastor, I was pulled in so many different directions. Some people really wanted me to perform. Some people said, you're not doing this enough. You're not you need to use this formula. You need to do these songs and that songs. You need to go out there and be more like a showman. And honestly, I kept coming back to this truth of God just cares about your heart. And it reminds me of that, the story in the Bible of Prophet Samuel trying to find the next king. And this shows the condition of the man's heart. When we look in the natural world, we look at status, we look at charisma, we look at the outer things, right? And then we make judgments about that. But it said when Samuel was looking at the outside, the Lord didn't care about any of that. He cared about the heart. He looks at the inside. And I truly believe that right now, that has not taken precedence anymore. I'm a big proponent of musical excellence and honing your skill. But if that is all that you have, and that's all that you care about, and it's all about the performance, then the heart of worship gets lost. And when I think about this topic, what really is the heart of worship? It's the posture of your heart, because the Lord sees it, right? This is an offering. When we worship, whatever we do, worship through our lives, not only through music, we are giving an offering to the Lord, right? But he looks at the posture of your heart. And sometimes there's agenda. Sometimes we don't even know that there's agenda. But, like I said, nobody is born with this pure heart. But if you say yes to the Lord and you ask him to give you a pure heart, he'll take you on this journey. And he'll put you through testing. He'll put you through the fire. He'll put you through delay. And this has been true in my life. There has been so many closed doors, so many things that the Lord convicted me that were seemingly great opportunities. He said no. So I said no. It was a heart of obedience and surrender to the Lord. Because what I cared about the most was being pleasing. I didn't want my worship to be like clanging cymbals to him. I wanted it to be pleasing to him. And I'm not perfect. I'm still a work in progress. But throughout these years, what the Lord started to bring me into was the secret place. Right now I'm making videos, right? But for so many years of my life, all throughout my 20s and even early 30s and mid 30s, I was hidden. I was in one tiny room with one piano, and I would be working some type of job that I hated, not ministry. It was like whatever, construction, sales, whatever it was. And I would be so broken, and I would come home and I would sit in front of the piano and I would just cry. I would sing to God from that place. There was no camera. No one was watching me. I wasn't performing for anyone. It was just my heart bare before the Lord. And that's what I try to bring nowadays to the worship sessions and the videos that I make. But I do want to say this. You cannot fake authenticity and purity and genuineness. You just cannot fake it. People can smell a mile away, and people can see it right a mile away if you're authentic or not. And if you have the heart of worship, if you let the Lord mold your heart to have the heart of worship, no matter what you're feeling, even if you're feeling like trash that day, and you sit down and you play and you worship, it's going to just be in your voice, in your DNA, in every fiber of your being. It'll just ooze out of you. And people will just be like, whoa, like this is so pure. This is so authentic. This is so raw. And it doesn't come in just you like a couple of months of you trying. No, it takes years of God molding your heart. And I truly believe in this generation that purity in worship, in the authenticity, singing only to Jesus is what's truly going to transform lives. Yeah, you can go to a concert and see a great performance live and feel all these emotions, but it won't transform you. The only one that can transform you is the Holy Spirit. And if you become a pure vessel that sings in spirit and in truth, God will truly, truly, of course, be pleased with your worship, but use you to impact many people that are going through a lot of things. So I really want to speak to the younger generation, even in any generation, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know this, but I just want to encourage you. Ask the Lord today. Ask the Lord, ask the Holy Spirit, where is my heart? And I struggle with that even now. But I will never, ever stop pursuing after the heart of worship, after God's heart, having a David-like heart, because that is the most important. If that's not there, none of this matters. I'm not making these videos because I want to get famous. None of that stuff. I don't care. If God shuts down my channel today, I'm okay with it. I just want to glorify him in all that I do. And I just want to ask you the same. Are you willing to look deep into your heart and then allow the Lord to start molding you? And are you willing to say yes to whatever comes? The winds of testing, the putting you through a season of wilderness, a season of fire. Are you willing to say yes? I hope this blessed you, and I really hope that God just raises up worshipers in this generation that will have a pure heart, a David-like heart, and worship in spirit and truth. Love you guys.